And
talking.
we don't have Matt here, so we don't have anybody to be goofy.
I mean, I can do that.
We can all be goofy.
BJ just goofy with red cheeks. It's all right.
Oh my God!
And we have Goofy.
There you go. He's got to show his face around here. He'll be in the chat. I bet he'll be in the chat.
He probably
There's no way he's gonna miss it.
Oh yeah.
There's no way.
He'll be there.
He'll be stirring up some trouble in there. All right, boys. We're ready to
All right,
roll.
boys. Let's go.
Hit it.
Do it.
All right, here we go. Welcome to Creative Makers Podcast, episode 115. I'm Joey with Steel Blade Woodworks, and today I'm joined by my co-host, BJ with Byroms Custom Woodworks, the most famous mustachio of all, the Wooden Mustache. Usually goes last, but we had to bring him in. We're missing the goofy, Mr. Matt Wackerle. He's not here with us today, but we got Mr. Steve I filling in for him. And
Howdy.
Our special guest, Mr. Tyler from Forge 3D, making an appearance again for like what, the third time this month, maybe?
Something like that.
Something like that. We lost count. We like you. It don't
I
matter.
think he's buying for my fill-in job over here.
There you go.
No one can replace you, Steve.
No,
I know.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. But anyhow, how's everybody doing?
Good.
Doing good?
Doing well.
We're all on the
Watching some
verge
storms roll in.
of a nice little trip. Can't wait. I'm ready to roll.
Yeah.
Y'all are.
2 more days.
I'm not sure I'm ready to roll again.
You just got back.
I just
Yeah,
got done
that's
rolling.
Are you driving again?
Oh yeah, I got to bring.
Did you just leave everything in the truck?
I didn't leave everything. I left the backdrop in the truck because I was like, I don't really want to get this out right now. And then
God.
the longer it's gone, I was like, I guess I'm just taking it to Cincy with me.
Man, I'm gonna be like the Beverly Hillbillies leaving Texas, man. I'm gonna be loaded down. I got all sorts of stuff in there. We're gonna be busting that
Truck's gonna be
seams.
squatting.
You're gonna be like Santa.
Yeah. It's gonna be a big old tool trade off over there in the parking lot. This is for you. This is for you.
Yeah. It
I gotta see.
fell off a truck.
It fell off.
Hopefully it won't fall off.
Yeah.
That's true.
I hope not.
Hopefully it won't.
So you're taking all the stuff to Mustache, and is he bringing stuff to you?
No, he's Sean is getting his lathe. And
Yeah, I actually gotta check. I gotta check with Sean when he's gonna be there, because we might not be able to swap stuff out of your truck until I can get the lathe out of there, or I could just bring the lathe into the hotel room or something. Well, we'll figure something out.
the concierge is gonna love that.
Are you turning in this room?
No.
Just tell him it's part of the con.
yeah.
They said it was. If it's a pet friendly hotel, it identifies as my service animal.
That's
Oh,
right.
but we were
It's my
gonna
emotional support lathe.
in our little discussion last night after our show, we were like, we got to figure out how to lift these crates a little bit. So I'm gonna take a what you call it, Grabo, and I was gonna see if you could take one because I think you're the only one that has one,
Me?
Tyler. Yes,
I have 4.
I know you got.
I told you
4,
he had 4 of them.
but we're gonna try to lift that crate just enough to get PVC pipe underneath them.
Yeah.
So that we can roll. Hopefully, I don't know if they're strong enough because it's a pretty heavy crate, but
I mean, 300 pounds. They each hold 300 pounds. So if we have 5 of them, and somebody else has another Grabo now, which hasn't been announced
that?
yet. Who's that? Some Yahoo registered to win the giveaway, and he won. Mr. Lincoln Bio himself won his prize this week. So
I think it was
we can use
rigged.
his.
Wait.
I was
It's supposed to be rigged the other way. What the heck, man?
I'm sorry. Hey, you got an Argus.
Oh yeah.
'Cause I was going to
I'll
bring
trade
it with me, and hand it to Mustachio and make Mustachio take it back because Steve didn't think it fit on this carry-on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he's already going to take
Well,
a
he's already
laser
taken
back.
the laser. So
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm bringing a laser for Steve. So he's just going to
There we go.
we're going to load Mustache down. He's going to be delivery guy on the way back home.
I'll get you a
That's
tracking. I'll get you a
fine.
tracking number and everything, Steve. We'll just put a
Awesome.
tracking number there.
awesome.
1, 2,
Hopefully
3,
it's-
4, 5.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's on my luggage.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll be better delivery service than like UPS and FedEx and DHL.
I should
It
put
probably-
a lift gate. I should put a lift gate on the back of my truck and the laser have the laser like precariously tip off.
The
Yeah.
problem is you got to
Yeah.
worry about it just getting there on time. 'Cause, you know,
Yeah,
it-
we
it'll
don't
probably
want
get
it.
delivered safely.
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
months
We don't
down
want
the
it
road.
to be delivered like Kamani's.
No. That's a little lighter than what he got. So,
Oh.
Not much.
oh yeah.
That's going to be a good reel tool swap at the con, and then when you got to record it when you're unloading that because I had to take it into some pieces to get it crated up. So, but it was professionally boxed by a box person. So
Right,
I
the-
just want
the-
you to
the box
only
person.
the only request I have is weigh the screws when you're done. I want to see how many pounds of screws are in this crate.
I told him last night that I got kind of irritated a little bit, so I started putting them in different angles as I was screwing them in. And some went a little further than they needed to. So
This
He's gonna
crate
be
cost
put-
Joey $300 in GRK
In
screws.
hardware alone.
hey, there was some good 3/4 inch ply used in that. A lot of different pieces, but and some good laserable birch plywood. I was like, I ain't using that. Just throw it on there.
I might just cut the box up and throw it into the fire pit, and then I can just shovel out the screws.
No,
and
magnet.
and wham.
Magnet.
Yeah,
Those
use
are
a
some
magnet.
good torque screws. Those are brand new torque screws.
Not when I get done with them.
They'll be heat treated.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There you
Hardened.
go.
Why are they snapping?
Ah.
Uh,
Touched them up with some epoxy before he put them in.
I wish the light bulb would have went off and I would have used a variance of different screw heads like Phillips, torque, and regular.
a couple flatheads.
Yeah, flatheads.
Flatheads, and
Then
maybe
you
some
gotta throw some of the
square.
security screws in there
Security
with a little pin in the
torques,
center. Yeah.
Yeah.
Security
And
torques
then
are
throw-
good. Yeah.
Throw some lag bolts in there with it. Oh, that'd have been great. I could still do some crazy stuff. Just as it's
Bolts
going
and
on
some
the truck.
nylock washers.
Did you use some boss dog on it to make sure it's really held together well?
May have not. We talked about doing a flood coat on it last night, so that way the grabos would really grab when we lift,
Oh,
There
there
we
you
go.
go.
and then he can't get to the screw heads because they're all filled with epoxy.
Oh, throw a
Break
little
out.
Bondo in those screw holes.
Oh my god! Wood putty everything and paint it so you can't tell.
Right, fragile on the side.
Yeah. I thought
Major
about
award.
putting something else on the side, but I said,
Major
no, better
award.
not. Yeah.
From France.
Oh, the fun we could have had. The fun we
Oh.
could have had at Mustache's expense. But
This is going to be a fun time next week.
Oh boy. Yeah.
oh my god.
I'm bummed.
It's
I'm
only
gonna
half
miss
as far. It's only half as far for me. So
it. So only 7 hours versus 14.
yeah, 7.5. I think.
How was that drive?
Never ending.
It was funny. I texted him when I got to Austin. I was like, "Hey, I made it to Austin," and I don't get a reply. I don't get nothing. I get a map update, and I'm like, and I'm driving through downtown Austin traffic. So I'm like, what the heck? What is that? And so I pull over and I click on it, and I'm like, oh dear Lord, 4 hours behind. He's back up where I started at that point. So I'm like, and so I try to call him, and I text him, "Hey, I tried to call you," and he calls me, and it's like, "So, what you're telling me is I need to find something to do for the next 4 hours." And
It
he's
was
like,
three.
it was about 3.5, three
Yeah,
and
three
three
and
and some change. Yeah. So yeah, I just drove around Austin for a little bit. And what's funny is every place I went to kill some time, I couldn't get into because there's a military base down there that has a artillery museum. And last year, my son and I went, no problem. This year, I pull in and they're like, "Yeah, unless you got a military ID, you're not getting on base." I'm like, "Dang it!" So I went and hung out at Wackerle for about an hour. I didn't pull a Joey though. I didn't spend any money.
No, that's
hard.
not fun.
That's hard to do.
Actually, it was funny. While I was there, I helped them pack up for Texas Woodworking Festival.
You helped them pack stuff Joey bought.
Yeah.
No,
Well, go
the
ahead.
drive was long. The traffic gods conspired against me on Thursday when I rolled out. I rolled out later than I anticipated, like 3 hours later than I anticipated.
Shocking.
Shocking. Yes, I was.
Yeah.
My departure time was 11, and I was still making sawdust at 11 to finish up a few things to get ready. And so I went to made it all the way to Jackson, Mississippi on Thursday night, and then got up and was still a minute away on Friday morning. It wouldn't have mattered much. I mean, I got there an hour and a half later than I should have because our load-in time wasn't until 3, and I didn't even know that until I looked at the schedule on the way in.
So in case anybody doesn't know, why don't you tell everybody where you were driving from and where you were going?
Yes. So last weekend was Texas Woodworking Festival in Austin, Texas at the Palmer Event Center. And so I rolled out of Atlanta on Thursday at about 2:00 and headed westward. I got a message from Wackerle say, "Are we going to have lunch?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, I've not left yet." And he goes, "What about dinner?" And I'm like, "No, I've got to keep going." And so I carried a package from Atlanta all the way past Wackerle, all the way to Austin with me. So
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a great time. I had the pleasure to have BJ as an assistant. As he wandered the show floor, he'd come in and spell me for here and there and bring me food that I didn't eat for like 2 hours because I kept talking. But anybody hasn't been to Texas Woodworking Festival, it's an amazing event. I think it was a little smaller this year than they anticipated.
How many
Well,
people?
Bigger.
They said almost the same amount of people. They said it was one less booth than last year.
It just I think the way that they
felt
spoke
smaller.
about the way they spoke about it last year, there was a lot of additional. It felt more rushed, I think, is the way that people described it from last year.
The traffic control was better this year.
Yeah, people descended on booths more in a glut all at once, as opposed to kind of well distributed around the entire event. I think even Austin, I mentioned that they had changed the layout to make it flow a little bit nicer and get people in there. So they had, of course, the educational tracks that they had, and then they also had general admission. And so Sunday seemed like it was more the educational folks that were coming through versus Saturday seemed more like general admission folks coming through. But it was a great time. They put on a great show. The after show was sponsored, or the after party was sponsored by J Cats. And that was a good time at the brewery. It was really nice. Right next to Drew Witt and Carbon Method on the other side of us, right across from J Cats, from Cats Moses. So we had really good traffic, and I guess we finished getting ready about 9:17 on
I think that
Saturday
was about
morning.
right. Yeah.
It opened at 9. We'd been there since 7 trying to finish up, and I don't think I stopped talking until about 3 p.m.
Yeah, you were pretty busy every time I went through there. You don't even remember shaking my hand.
I don't remember much about Saturday. It was all a blur. All a blur.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna roll back into this in a minute. Let's get into that that beautiful segment that we like to call What's Glue with You, brought to us by the wonderful Boss Dog Glue Company. And a real quick aside on that. So remember, Boss Dog is still running a sale on their Big Boss box. $125 value. You can get it for $93. You get a 16-ounce bottle of every one of their glues, and then a bottle of every one of their super glues, which is awesome. Used a lot of it this weekend. And, you can pick up the triple pack, everything else, several things on sale. The coolest thing that they're doing now is they are doing a subscription service. So you can get that glue on order so you never run out. So yeah, go check them out. And we'll make the official live announcement tonight. We now have a discount code for all of our subscribers. So if you use code CMP10, all capital, it's going to get you 10% off of your order. There's also going to be a link down in the bio that you can click, do the same thing. Now, we get nothing from that. It is just, helping you out to get you a little discount on your order. So take advantage of that, get your 10% off, and show some love to the old Boss Dog. And let's get into this. Now, we've got two guests on here. So who wants
Not
to go
really.
first?
Not really.
Not really?
Which one?
Tyler
Steve?
goes first.
Okay. So since Steve is, I guess, not a guest anymore. No.
Yeah, he's an official fill-in.
He's
Official
So sorry, Steve, you don't get to go first. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Tyler, what is going on in your shop this week? Other than hopefully catching up on some sleep.
No, there's not been any catching up on sleep. I've been blessed enough to be catching up on being gone for 5 days last week, and a lot of FS rail pods because of someone's video.
I can't imagine why.
Can't imagine why. A lot of FS rail pods, getting put together and sent out. I'd say we've launched Anchor Pod. As far as at Texas Woodworking Festival, the big announcement hasn't gone out that will go out this week to the wider community. We were working out a few other logistics details on some packing and shipping stuff. So that's now been ironed out so that we can at least release it from a pre-order perspective so that people can get it ordered. And so what Anchor Pods are basically the next evolution of our work holding system. And it allows a pod to be placed actually in your work surface, either 20 millimeter or 3/4. And with a gasket material can then turn your work surface directly into vacuum work holding. Can have different variants of pods to place on top of that as well. So if you needed additional height to get off the work surface, you could do that. And then also it can be used just like one of our anchor dogs. It allows a lot of functionality and flexibility. We introduced it at Texas Woodworking Festival last week. We've got some exciting bundles coming out with it. We've got a new tool, our Argus tool, which apparently has caused some pain for BJ after he stole it from the booth. I don't know
I did not. You gave it to me.
How he absconded with it. So it's launched. We've got quite a few orders at Texas Woodworking Festival for it, and it'll go wider. It'll go wider this week now that we've got some of the other logistic details hammered out, so that we can try to start fulfillment just as fast as possible. We're probably still about 2 weeks out from fulfillment starting.
Nice.
And aside from that, I installed some fans today for the wife because today was, if you don't know and you haven't done it yet, today was National Wife Appreciation Day, just for all you guys out there.
Isn't that every day?
Yes, but apparently there has to be a special official day also. And today was that day. I was told first thing this morning that was what it was.
That was going to happen, right? No
Yes.
ifs, ands, or buts.
Yes.
Those fans are going in.
Yes. And so I was told that there are some honeydews that I haven't honey done, and that if I valued my life, that that some things would get done.
See, then I don't feel so bad letting getting up, feeding the dogs, letting her sleep till about 9:30. That
There you go.
You got some appreciation. There we go. Well, all right. Well, Mr. Steve,
Yes.
what do you got going on in the shop?
What do I have going on? Well, this week I've been busy cutting out some drawer boxes on the CNC that I was supposed to do like 3 weeks ago. I finally got around to it. After I'm relatively new to the CNC, so I've still got some learning curves. I spent about an hour the other day trying to figure out why it kept air carving, only to realize that I had set the Vectric program to measure off of the work surface instead of the actual piece that I was trying to cut. So, yeah, that I set the datum to the spoil board instead of the actual workpiece. So that was fun.
No, you set it to the work piece, not the spoil board.
Whatever. It was the wrong
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah,
I done screwed up.
So
I'm sure it won't be the last time I do this either.
On your drawer boxes, are you doing just the exteriors? You're doing
Exteriors and the dados for the drawer bottom.
okay.
Yeah. So it took a little bit longer than I had hoped to cut out all the sides and then the fronts and the backs, because I'm actually using an 1/8 inch bit because I'm putting 6 mil ply as the bottom of the drawer. So it just takes a little bit longer. But everything went well with that. Just took longer than I expected. I still got a couple drawers left I have to cut out. Once I get the majority of them in, I've got a taller drawer that I have to actually figure out the exact measurement for, and then just spin those up. But hopefully this week, well, actually, this is a short week. Next week, we'll get to that. But other than that, yesterday and all day today, and then tomorrow and Tuesday evening, I am taking another class, and this time I am building an electric guitar,
that's cool.
T-style
Nice.
guitar. So this will be my first electric that I build after
Nice.
building that acoustic back in April, and a number of years ago, another acoustic. So that's what's going on in my shop this week.
Is electric easier because you don't have all the wrapping and the bending? It's more solid.
It is. So it's basically a solid body. So basically you're pattern routing and you're routing some pockets. And the neck is still as involved because you still have to, cut out the neck, shape it, put the fingerboard on, fret it. All the fretting is exactly the same. So it just takes some time to set them all, crown them, dress them, polish them, and this one we're using rasps again to shape the neck, the back of the neck. So it's just time consuming, but yeah,
Cool.
it's much easier, much more approachable than the acoustic, but just as fun.
And a shorter drive.
Way
Yeah.
shorter.
Way shorter. Yeah, it's about 35, 40 minutes instead of like 14 hours out to Indy.
One way.
Dang.
One way. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
Very cool. Well, let's move on over to Mr. Joey. What are you working on, brother? What's in the
Not a
box?
whole lot. What's in the box? Got a lot of things.
He's
in the
making
box.
boxes. He's making
Yeah.
boxes.
I've been making boxes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've been ready for a little con trip. That's what I've been doing this weekend. Getting some stuff packed up, ready to head out next week on our journey. And that's really been it. I haven't done a whole lot else in there, but just packaging up some stuff that we're going to deliver to some good friends, and that's it. Can't wait to get up there and meet everybody in person. in person.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's
How long a roll is it for you, Jeff?
18 hours.
Woo.
Two nights or 2 days, 2-day drive. I'm going to try to make it all the way. I'm going to try to make it all the way to Nashville, Tennessee, first night, which is about 14-hour drive, I guess.
13 and 14. Yeah, I was going to say 13 and 14.
We'll see if I can make it. We're going to leave out here early. The route I'm going to take, it's a lot of just 2-lane divided interstate. It's not, I'm not going to go through Dallas just because there's a lot bigger. 35 is pretty bad. 35 is you run into a lot of problems. So I figured I'd go up through Houston. Houston's really the only major issue is getting through Houston, but I should hit Houston right after rush hour and hopefully mosey on through there. And then the rest is just divided 2-lane highway heading north. So
or are you going up through like Shreveport, that up through that way, or you coming across?
I'm gonna go straight up North Houston, going through like Lufkin, all the way up to Texarkana, and then at Texarkana, I'll go right and go into Arkansas, and then Tennessee.
40 across.
Yeah, that's the route. Seems what it keeps taking me. There was one route to go to Louisiana, but I think on the way back, that's probably we'll take our time and we'll be stopping at multiple places on the way back through and doing some wifey things, because that's what she told me. Again, she said, we're not just coming straight home after it's over. I said, no, I didn't intend to, honey. We're going to stop off and let you have your fun. So
sounds like that's going to be a great little vacation for you.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be great. No telling what. Yeah. So it's a 2-week little round trip. That's what planning.
Nice.
So,
that breaks up the drive. That's a much better way. That's a much better way to do it.
Yeah, trying to do it. I want to try to make it to Nashville. That way, at least it'll be like maybe about a 4 hour drive, I guess, from there.
That's an easy drive for Nashville.
Yeah.
So, and we could
Especially
just
after
take our
14 hours.
time. Yeah, we could just take our time. And if we want to stop off and look at some stuff, we can. Really, I think Wackerle gets in that evening too. So try to hit the motel or the hotel at the same place at the same time or whatever, can't check in till 5. So.
Oh, 5? 5's check-in time?
I believe that's what I seen on the reservations.
Oh, that's late.
That's late.
I think I got to look. Don't quote me on that. It could be 3. Most of those places, if the room's ready, they'll let you. Usually, I don't know how that one does, but usually around here, if it's ready, they'll let you go ahead and go in. So, yeah, can't wait. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Get to see a lot of trees. Get to see some cool stuff.
Trees. What are those?
Yeah. Matt
Green
said,
things.
those ain't big trees. I said, Matt, maybe not to you, but to me, those are big trees. Those are big trees. From where I'm coming from, anything over 8 foot, 10 foot is big to me. We don't get a whole lot of big trees down here, but
4 p.m. That's the official check-in time based on the email that I have from Aloft.
okay. That's pretty late.
Yeah, that's pretty late.
Pretty late. Yep. So anyhow, that's all I got. Got going on. What about you, Mr. Mustachio? What you got going on?
Let's see. I'm approaching panic mode on getting the CNC table built. I started cutting up 2 sheets with a track saw, getting that broken down, and I stopped partly because I ran out of time that night, and then I decided to go in and finish the model to pull some measurements off that. And then I took all those measurements and dumped them into that cut list optimizer site. And I bought 4 4x8 sheets, and so I'm doing 4 drawers on each side, and then two 2 cabinets, or well, yeah, 2 cabinets on each side, and I was thinking I needed another sheet of plywood, but using that website, I'm able to cut everything out, minus the drawer bottoms, because I don't think I'm going to use 3/4 for the bottoms.
No, no need.
No. So I got all that done. I printed out my thing. I was going to pop out into the shop at like 6 or something, and then I just decided not to. But yeah, I was pretty lazy this weekend. And yeah, I'm gonna come back here from ConCon with some stuff, and if I'm not in a better spot, we're gonna have some issues moving stuff around. So yeah. And
Yeah.
I might open that box in the driveway, Joey. Who knows?
Hey, once you get it all taken out, it's going to be a lot easier. Once you get it on the rolling stands and stuff, it won't take up
Yeah.
as much. You trying to move those crates in that shop?
No.
Ain't going to happen. I can tell you
Well,
that.
I haven't figured out how I'm getting those even out of my truck yet. So
Well, if I could suggest, would be open them in your truck and take all the smaller pieces out to lighten the load, and then you can start. The heaviest part is, don't try to truck with the pallets on the pallet.
Don't try what?
Open them in your truck.
Oh, okay.
Just undo the top parts, and then maybe the sides, and you can start pulling the pieces out, like the drum sander. You can pull it out and then get all the stand parts. There's a Ziploc bag with all the screws, and you can put the stand together, you put the drum sander together and move it out of the way. And then that crate has the base for the joiner. And then you're going to have to assemble some stuff on that base, because that'd take some of the wheels off and stuff to fit them in there.
Is that
not a big deal.
on? Is that on a pallet?
Mm-hmm. 2 pallets.
So I could. Well, I mean, technically, I could rent some forks.
How are you gonna get them home?
No. Those pallets are not like pallets. There's 2x4 bases. They don't have slots. I didn't get that crazy.
Okay.
I didn't cut you slots in there to grab them with the pallet forks. They're just 2x4.
I'll just rent a crane. I'll rent a crane. We'll get it done.
That shipping department's just not meeting the quality standards that we were hoping for.
Now, they're very secure. I can tell you that.
Just
They're
not
very,
easily
very
mobile.
secure.
And we says take them apart on your truck. He says good luck because of all the different screw heads he's going to have in them.
Yeah.
You'll
It'll
be
be
all right.
fine.
You'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
You're good. It's going to be a like a little jigsaw puzzle. You just screw by screw, you'll figure out how I assembled it.
I'm super excited.
So
Maybe you have a 5-gallon bucket so you can put all the screws in.
So Mustache, how long does it have to marinate in the crate before you open it?
0 minutes.
Well, the fact that it's going to be in the bed of his truck, probably not that long.
I told him if he's gonna, I covered him with plastic. Y'all saw some of them where I all the cast iron was greased with with a high coat of high temp axle grease. So he's gonna have to scrape it off. I didn't want nothing to rust, and then I just engulfed it with oil, like lubrication oil, and then I wrapped it. Just all the painted cast iron was engulfed in oil, and then I took what my felder came in and I put it on top in case there is water. It'll just shear off the sides, hopefully, but hopefully nothing gets in it, because it's supposed to be raining that weekend. And I told him hopefully it's a covered garage, but don't leave it in that crate too long if that wood gets wet, because that's just going to be a cooking box in there. It won't take long to rust up.
I'm gonna bring a tarp too, and I might bring some bricks so that we could put the crates onto the bricks so they're up above. Because I mean, I could tarp those boxes, but if any runoff comes down, it's just going to sit in the bed. So
Just cut you some 2x4s, pieces of 2x4s that are 30 inches wide. Bring you
That'll
6 of them.
that'll work.
6 of them,
I
and
got
that way you
those.
can just elevate it.
Yep.
One, it'll be easier for you if you do find some way to get something underneath it to offload it that way.
True. Yeah.
You can put a strap underneath it. Anyhow,
We'll
it'll be
figure
all
it
right.
out.
You'll be all right. You'll
Yeah.
be all right. I got
Yeah.
all the faith in you to get it in the shop.
Putting a lot of eggs in that basket. Cool. Yeah, that's it for me. What you got, BJ? What's blue with you?
Well, not a whole lot. I mean, this week was recovery week from last weekend. And the jobby job had it took up a lot of time this week. But today I got out there and I built 2 different storage solutions or display solutions for my Temple Tool saws that I got at the Woodworking Festival.
Nice.
And so, yeah, because I'm working on a video just to kind of show, simple, mid-level, and then kind of fancy style. So I did, just a piece of walnut with some slots cut in it, so the saws just drop in and hold, and they're all side by side. And then my fancy version, I actually found a file online, and it's a 3D printed file that the saw hooks into. And so it takes them and holds them with the face of the blade showing. And so they're all displayed with the Temple logo out. And I laser engraved the board is walnut. And then I found some cherry in the shop, and I engraved the name of each specific saw into the cherry. So above each saw, there's a label to show what the saw is. Now, he has 4 different types of one saw. And so below it, I engraved what that specific saw does. So whether it's a cross cut, a rip cut, a fine tooth, anything like that. Yeah.
You don't
So-
have you don't have an excuse of grabbing the wrong saw for the wrong
Exactly.
application.
It's like now I know exactly what. Now I will say for most things, I'm going to grab the Ryoba, which is the double-sided saw, or they have one called the Little Demon, and it's Onibe, I think is how it's pronounced in Japanese. And so that one I actually labeled it with the Japanese name for the saw, not the
On their dual face one, is it like hardwood, softwood, or is it cross cut?
cross-cut, rip cut.
Cross-cut rip.
But I was using them this weekend and absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you talk about a hot knife through butter. You're using the right saw, it'll cut beautifully. And I've loved Japanese saws for years. It's really all I've ever used. And just the time and effort that he took into designing these saws, they're that much better than the other brands that are out there. And I felt that they deserved a nice, pretty display to hang them up. And the nice part is the more basic display will still hold my older, cheaper Japanese saws that, if I need to cut something that might be harder on the saw, could be detrimental to the blade, and grab one of the cheap ones. Save the Temple tool saws for the nice stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They were 2 booths away, and I never made it down there to see.
He came down to your booth. You had gone somewhere. I think you went to go pull your truck around into the loading bay, and he came down. He said the same thing. He's been here all weekend, never got to come down here. And it's like, I guess I'll come down here now that everything's packed up. Like, hold on, I'll unpack a few things to show you. But yeah, Chris is a good guy. But
Yes,
yeah,
he is.
That's all I did this weekend. Yeah. So, well, let's get into this. Oh, I forgot to mention, when we were talking about the Boss Dog glue, we are still running the CMP, Creative Makers Build Off in cooperation with or collaboration with Boss Dog Glue. And all we need is a video of you using Boss Dog Glue, building something awesome. You need to tag us as a collaborator on Instagram so we can see the build. You need to get all the entries in by October 31st. And we are, as far as I know, we don't have any entries. I'm hoping that just means we got 2 entries. And I hope that just means that people are building some really cool things for the contest. And so the last week,
a lot of times people just wait.
yeah.
Wait. Hopefully that's a problem.
Procrastinate to the very last minute building
and
something where
that's
there's
fine.
a deadline. I know nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing about this.
If you bombard us on the 31st with all those tags, as long as you get under the wire, we're good. So yeah, get your entries in for the Creative Maker Build Off. Yeah.
But JR, you need to collaborate with us, not just tag us, so we can have those on there as collaborations. So please remember to collaborate. Yep.
All right. Well, let's talk about last weekend. Good old Texas Woodworking Festival and the fun that Tyler had, getting ready for that event and going to that event. Fun is the right word.
Anything challenging can be fun if you put it in the right frame of mind. As the hours get shorter to the time that you leave, the fun does also compress. Not in a compressing good way. Like it starts to be fleeting. The fun does start to be fleeting. I was not smart in leading up to it. We did 2 product launches and a product launch at the festival. So there's 3 different preparations happening along with preparing for the festival. But the good thing is that a lot of the prep work will carry forward as far as, being able to use the same backdrop going, for future events or for, it's going to go to SplinterCon with me. It's going to go to the Con just because it's still in the back of the truck. But it was good to experience it in a different manner. I've done a lot of conventions and a lot of trade shows in corporate life, in previous jobs, and even in my formative years. My dad was on the trade show circuit for nurseries, but it's always a new learning experience when you're trying to do something for a different audience. And so I kind of had a vision in my head what I wanted for the backdrop and was able to execute it. The sign was the last thing to fall. Like Steve, when was that? That was it 24 hours, 36 hours, 12?
I think it was within 36 hours of you leaving for the event.
I was struggling with the sign. I'd bought some banners, some flags to put up on the backdrop, and I hung it up there, and it just didn't look right. It just
frantically get a text. I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I'm like, what's wrong with it? It looks great.
So it just didn't fit what I was looking for. So yeah, it had to be 36. It had to be 36 hours because I did have the day of Wednesday to make a frantic call to a buddy that owns a shine shop here close to me, and they were able to turn around a printed PVC sign for me. And then I made a frantic phone call to Jess at Script and Grain, who I met at Workbench Con last year, who she does signs. And so I asked for input and I wanted some depth on the sign. And so she says, go just a little bit above the top of the backdrop with it, and you'll find some way to get it off the backdrop. And so put a 1/2-inch piece of ply behind it. It was about halfway up, I guess, BJ, something like that, we got it mounted. Need a better way to mount it next time.
Yes, you do.
I'll tackle that this week before I go to the
Yep.
con.
The precarious ladder with a broken leg that,
that was fun.
that they told us we couldn't use, and we procured it, and
Yes,
we got access to a ladder.
yeah, it was not a good ladder. It was
No.
not.
There was a reason. I should have, when you look at it and go, why is this by the, sitting within 10 feet of the dumpster? Yeah, there's a clue. Yeah, hey, it worked.
The left fiberglass leg was completely shattered, so I'm putting all my weight on the right hand side of the ladder. BJ's holding it. It was
Yeah.
OSHA. It was an OSHA violation. That is for sure.
All those crafty people there, and y'all couldn't figure out a way to just put something temporary.
We were in pressure. We had
till.
Were we doing that morning, or was doing that 6 o'clock? I can't remember.
We did that. We did the sign the night before.
Yeah.
And we're getting it up where they're going, hey guys, come on, like we gotta
get out
go.
of here.
Security's kicking us out of here.
So
they were nice because they were
Very
like, hey, I asked, because it wasn't just us. Carbon Method was still setting up, and there was another booth on the other side that was still setting up. So like, hey, we bought y'all another hour, but when we say it's time to go, it's time to go. And they said it was time to go about 4 times.
yeah, I tried to buy another hour too. Like literally tried to buy another hour with bribery. But that didn't work. So yeah, the panic set in on Wednesday, I guess. No, excuse me, on Tuesday night with the sign just not looking right. But that worked out okay. Yeah, that's my sustainer tops that I was cutting. I can't really see it in the shot. Had a small issue with that. Had a small issue cutting the backdrop. I don't know what day I set a fire in my CNC. Pay attention to your tool paths, boys and girls. Yes, don't.
Quick, didn't it?
Yeah, dude, don't try to drill a 7 mil hole with a 6.35 mil bit with a helical ramp of 12 degrees. Bad things happen. I'm just saying. So
0 to fire in 3 seconds.
You start a fire.
0 to fire.
Yeah, literally. I see an ember in one of the holes, and I'm like, what the heck is that? And then I go and I slam off the vacuum table, and flames shoot up out of the holes. So yeah, so my shop smelled like a campfire. That was awesome. I don't recommend it.
No.
That new campfire smell is really nice when it's a campfire and it's cold outside. It's not. It's not great when it's in your shop.
2 a.m.
Yeah.
2 a.m. Yes. Don't CNC it at wee hours of the morning when you can make mistakes on tool paths. But luckily enough, as soon as I cut the vacuum table, flame shot up, but then it starved itself. No extinguisher was required. I got it outside and threw some water on it just to make sure that there was no residual danger there.
You do have a fire extinguisher in your shop, right?
I have two, one right next to the laser and one right next to the CNC. But I really don't want to fire it off if I can help it.
Yeah.
Get you a fire blanket.
I have one of those also right at the entrance of the door where I can grab it and jerk it down. But then that means I had to resurface my spool board. That means I had to re-gasket tile the top of my spool board for the vacuum table. That was a nice 2-hour detour when I, down into the, sub 100 hours until departure time that I didn't need to happen. So moral of the story is don't do product launches leading into the show so that you have all those other things tied to, the product shots and the social media and the prep work and the pricing and all that each 2 weeks before, and then try to do one at the show too. It was over ambitious. It was overly ambitious.
So what you're saying is one product launch before a show, not 3.
Yes. Or right at the show. So you
at
can just
the
kind of at the show, and then it's all your social media, because if you're trying to do it, all the social media around it and everything else, it's a lot. Also in the preparation of the show. So
now I remember we had a talk. How many products are you going to launch between now and the first of the year?
I don't remember. I'm not going to launch any. I'm launching none. Now there's one. I may launch the Cis Surface. Maybe
See, I
not.
knew that was going to happen.
I may not.
I'm not going to
don't
do it.
know.
I can't. I'm not going to launch anymore. Sure. I sit there and told you, yeah, you'll launch another one.
I may launch that.
No. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We're going to do bundles. We are going to launch some bundles.
Oh, the
because
bundles would be cool. Yeah.
We got to ask about
yeah.
that a lot.
Oh yeah.
At the show, a lot of bundle questions. And so I wasn't going to carry the S76s except for like the really premium version for the Anchor Pod bundles. But I think I'm going to do the bundles with S76s, and that's just going to be how they come. And then it puts everything in one box, and it's all together.
Yeah.
And those are the two bundles that we'll have for the normal Minimus and Maximus pods, Anchor dogs, and rail inserts will be in one S76. And then the Anchor Pod bundles, there'll be two variants. Well, there's two bundles of that, two variants, one with Maximus Anchor Pod editions, and then one with the Magnus, the new big pod. And so those will be the two that come with S76s. So I did get those ordered this week from Sustain Restore. And they were great partners for the giveaway. So I did the giveaway drawing on Wednesday. I thought it automatically alerted people, but according to Steve, it didn't since he won one of the prizes. So that will be, I'll get that out this week of the people that won. One gentleman won from Australia for the bigger for one of the giveaways, for the global giveaway.
Nice.
He won the Anchor Pod version. He'll have to wait for shipping on that because I got to get Argus in first before I want to ship that to him, so I don't have to backfill that. And then the other two folks were at Texas Woodworking Festival that won, and so those will get out probably right after the con. I'll get everybody's prizes out except for the gentleman the gentleman, the one from Australia, because Argus will be still probably 2 weeks out from Argus being here. And so I keep saying Argus. Argus is our new bench dog tool. That BJ stole from me at the show, and then injured it. Karma's a bitch. I mean, he injured himself today with it. He dropped it on his toe, and that's
what he gets. That's what he gets. That's what he gets.
It injured me at the show too.
a different part of his anatomy as he was running.
Friday, when we're setting everything up, I'm in gym shorts just because I was in the truck all day. Threw it in my pocket, and I was like, "Oh, let me run out to because what was I go? Oh, I was going out to get the ballast for the sign
backdrop,
for the backdrop. Yeah, I ran out to my truck, and about halfway there, and realized running was not a good idea with a almost 1 pound, piece of steel in your pocket and gym shorts. Yeah, but it is. I will say the design of that tool and the multi-use of that tool, it is absolutely phenomenal. Like, it is such a nice tool.
As pleased I am with a lot of, any of our products. That one, the way that it's turned out so far it's just the sheer simplicity of it. It's a 20 millimeter dog, bench dog, beautiful knurled upper. The guy that I get my CNC work done from did an absolutely phenomenal job. It's got a 1/4 inch drive bit, a slot in the bottom of it so that you can use it with what we'll deliver it with is a 4 millimeter bit to go with any of our anchor, any of our bench grip pods, any of our anchor dogs, any of our anchor pods, our rails system, everything uses a 4 millimeter bit. And so it really does tie into the rest of the system, drops right in a 20 millimeter dog hole, and it's always on your bench at the ready. And the other nice thing about it, it's magnetic, so that if you have magnetic bench hole plugs, you can very easily pick the plugs right out of the bench top. And so it makes it was a selfish creation, because I have my entire bench top is a MFT style 20 millimeter top, and I have magnetic magnetic stainless plug covers, and I'm always taking them in and out. And I love having it because it keeps the underside of my table just stupid clean compared
Yeah.
to when I didn't have them, and just all the stuff from the table would just fall on everything under the bench. And so being able to plug those holes was great, but I'm always looking for basically a mag switch. I have a mag switch that sits basic on my sits on my jigsaw or my bandsaw, because I use it as a stop on my bandsaw as well. And so I always have to turn around and grab it, engage it, take the dog covers out, dump them. And I've always wanted a nice tool that sat on my bench top to do this. And so I came up with a design and thought maybe I could offer this as a product. And when I reached out to my CNC guy and said, "Hey, Charlie, what can we do with this?" I sent him the design. He says he gave me a price for the prototyping, and he said he'd make me a few of them for prototyping. And I said, "That's a really, really expensive yes." just because I
Whether you
just
sold
because
them or
I-
not, you just wanted one.
I wanted it so bad. I wanted one so bad. And then when I got them, I was just floored and blown away by it.
So is Tyler doesn't do anything if there's nothing going to come about that. So you don't have to answer this question.
Yeah.
But is there possibility of magnetic bench top plugs?
Yes. Yeah. So we will be launching those. I'm not sure how we're going to launch them yet. The big challenge there is the number I would have to order. That's the big thing. So I'm not sure if it'll be a pre-order kind of arrangement where we'll do a pre-order and then we order that quantity, or if I say I ordered 1,000. I mean, it takes like 77. Is that correct? It's
I think something
11
like that for an MFT.
7 by
yeah.
11, I think, is what it's what's on MFT. So it takes somewhere between 66 and 77 plugs to cover a standard MFT. If you have a full size, custom MFT table, it could take 150. So if I order 1,000, that's like 15 tables, maybe.
So I need 231 of them.
So you need 231 of them, exactly, because you have.
And I need them in 3/4 inch. So
I'm not doing them in
20 millimeter. 20 millimeter. 20
I'm-
millimeter.
This is
Get
I-
on
I
the ball,
want-
PJ. Get on the
PJ,
ball. 20
just
millimeter.
pour them out and do 20 millimeter.
I'm torn. I want to. I could probably do I could probably do a pre-order of 3/4. 20 mils would be the one I would stock
yeah.
after we originally did them. But it's a pretty sizable upfront investment for me. And with the sizable investments of the new materials coming in for filament and anchor pod development, that's one reason I'm not sure that I would do it in Q4. But I've gotten enough questions about it online in my DMs in social media about what are those dog hole covers that you have on your thing. And then full disclosure, Bench Dogs UK is where I got mine originally. I've ordered some for mine for testing from my CNC guy. That's what we had at Texas Woodworking Festival. Just had a few of them fleeting in there, but I've reached out to Ralph, and Ralph and I are going to chit chat about it. Who's the proprietor of Bench Dogs? Because of tariffs and costs and shipping, I've had a lot of people ask about it, and I would never want to step on Ralph's toes, because he's been great as far as a good steward in the community. So he and I are supposed to chit chat about it, but the intent is that we're going to launch them. Not really launch them, but offer them for the US market only, and that way he can have the his normal built-in advantages and sales in the UK and in Europe versus having to worry about tariffs here and the cost to get them across. So
I'll keep lighting the fire on you, because I'm going to get an Argus with my kit. So
yeah,
I'll be Tyler. Where are my MFT plugs, Tyler?
so
I need, yeah.
they're gonna Charlie and I, he's like he said, he's gonna spool them up for me. But he's ready to go on it. He's like, yeah, did you like them? I said, I love them. I want them. I want to sell them. I want to have them. So it's something that we want to do for sure, because it's a nice to have on any bench. But the good thing is also, if you've, especially for like Argus, if you've just 3D printed yours and you've embedded a bolt or something, or excuse me, a nut in the backside of your bench dog, you can use the Argus for that. But
it just doesn't look as good as those nice shiny.
It doesn't look as good, and they have some other problems as far as fitment goes and some other things.
I've tried to do that for mine, and it's
but I love the Argus tool is just so simple. It's probably my favorite little just thing that I've done in a while, and I love our anchor pods. I mean, our anchor pods are, the design of them are dead simple. How they've turned out is amazing. It is patent pending now, so that's something that we're real proud of. Everything about it, the pod dock that we designed for the normal pods, but also the anchor pod fit out that we designed to hold the Maximus or the Magnus. And somebody asked me why I don't do foam and why we're doing like 3D printed inserts, is because I was like, the size of the how much we want to try to fit into a S76, for example, is there's no way you could do it with foam. There's really no way you could do it with a blown in style molding, because the features are so small and so detailed that you just couldn't do it a different way. And it just the way that it turns out is just stupid nice.
Looks so much nicer.
It looks nice. It fits nice. You can fill it out really well. And then I had the struggle of where we're going to put the gaskets for anchor pod, and there's that's another proud little thing of just something simple. A flap that goes in the lid with a couple magnets to hold it up. You drop the gasket behind it, it snaps up, and it just looks nice. It functions amazingly, and just those little things make me happy. People noticing it when they start touching it and playing with it. So
if I can add, you're the one to blame for our recent organizational quest we've been on.
Yep.
I have so many different things now in the shop that have helped, and I'm waiting on some stuff to come from you. No pressure, just throwing that out there. Just to finish organizing some certain things. But it's really cool because I've seen some of the stuff. It's very nice the way you have done and fit all that stuff in such a compact little sustainer. And I like the fact that you can just grab it, take it to your workbench, and it's in a box.
And you love boxes.
And then I can put stuff right back in the box.
That's right.
So it's the best thing. The best thing.
Well, so at the show you didn't have an MFT. What was the workbench that you were demoing?
Dashboard.
At the dashboard. That's right.
So if anybody doesn't know Dashboard, Rob, the guys at Dashboard PWS out in Colorado are fantastic. I mean, they're absolutely fantastic folks, and their products are. I think the reason that I liked Rob and Dashboard so much is it really does sing to me with my sensibilities as far as design and attention to detail and quality of machining and everything else. It is an absolutely outstanding product. I've had Rob's kit forever. Like, I don't know if I've told this on the podcast before, but I know I mentioned it last weekend. So they had one of the original rail hinges for using a track with a bench, and there was a big step above of what comes with the MFT by default. And so I sourced one, forever ago, and have had it on my bench ever since. And earlier this year or late last year, I ordered Gen 3 or Gen 4, whatever generation of hinge he's on right now, and it came in, and the machining work is even a step up from what he did originally. He simplified the design in a lot of ways. The fitment tolerances on the indexing portions of the hinge are even better, and so you really have none of the rock or the wiggle or some of the other things that you have in the stamped stock version of the MFT hinge.
You know, although I didn't buy it directly from
You got
from them,
estate
I got it in an estate sale, right? And I have looked at it, and that thing is absolutely, it is dead on nice. I mean, the detail in it, the machining, I mean, it's a work of art, right?
It is.
Now, I have been looking at things, and I'm going to wait till I set my bench up. And one was the fence, right?
Yep.
And the only thing I don't see, and it may be updated now, I don't know, is I would love to see some sort of measurement marks on it.
It's marking it. I'm not sure what he's doing on that. He and I'll probably talk. I probably won't talk. I may talk to him before I come to the con because we've got some other things to chit chat about. But I'll ask him about marking because I run the bench dogs fence on my bench at home in the shop because it has has all the markings across it,
right?
Which is good and bad. I mean, there's some good and bad to it, but I'll ask Rob what his
because it's been so many times that I look at I go to TSO and I go to bench dog, and then I go back to Rob stuff, and I'm like, man, I'd like to keep it all one brand if possible. I know sometimes that's not possible, right? Yeah. But the only thing that stops me from buying it
is markings.
It is markings. Right. Yep. Some sort of, indication of where you're at, if you're going to be cutting, the stop block, you can set it and, that would be nice. And then I would just pull the trigger because I put it in the cart and then I just sit and like, man, but it doesn't have this on there. And I go back and forth from company to company. So that's been the only thing. Now that I have that other piece, it's like, I kind of just want to keep with one company, because everything
interrelates. So the dashboard is amazing work surface. It's so much more stable than an MFT straight out of the box. Has carbon fiber stringers, for God's sakes. It is a stupid nice work surface. And the number of times I got asked, is this our product? I'm like, I would love to claim this, but I can't because this is Rob's stuff. And so we had flyers for his kit there. Of course, we had handouts for Sustainer Store there because we partnered with them on a ton of stuff. Just FYI, everybody that's ordering pod docks right now. So pod docks will come, with a basically 10% off code for being able to get your S76, from Sustainer Store in there. With all the pod docks that are going out right now, that's getting dropped in with every single one of them. So folks will have those when they get it if they don't already have an S76. But yeah, the dashboard, we got a lot of compliments on it and a lot of interest in it. So hopefully this show, even though Rob wasn't there in person, his product was there and his sensibilities were there in spirit to be able to show off and have folks be able to see the shortcut, because we had the smaller one. So he has two flavors. He's got the shortcut and the standard. The standard's big. Like the standard one is I think almost 8 feet long. I mean, it's a big work surface. Maybe it's a little bit under that. And then he has his wingman, the ones that come out so you can kind of step into your workspace, but work on work with an even wider piece of sheet good with still having good support. It's an amazing thing. And like I was saying, so when I bought the Gen 2 or Gen 3, whatever we're calling it, I put it on the back of the thing, and I had the catch on the front, and I had to run the old catch for a little while because I needed a longer rail because the 1080 rail wouldn't reach any longer because of the changes they'd made to improve it. And so I'd purchased another FS 1400 and I'd cut it down.
You just had to.
So
you had to go there.
You had to go there.
So when the anniversary rail came out,
that was not an
I
improvement.
had to get one to put on the bench. And then, of course, I had to cut that down to go on the bench, much to Joey's chagrin.
Animal. You're an animal. I still can't believe you cut that rail. It just irks me.
It's irksome. So, but no, I mean, everybody loved seeing the dashboard. the number of people that didn't know what a grabo was really surprising to me. I followed back up with Sustainer Store to kind of give them some feedback on what we learned at the show, what we saw at the show, and the number of people that really didn't know what sustainers were outside of
I heard that a lot.
Or I mean, most people would relate sustainers to Festool, of course, but even there were a lot of the GA folks. I made the joke to some folks that came through. I said, "So are we a hobbyist? Are we professional or DIYer? Have we moved past using construction lumber for furniture yet? Where are we at in our spectrum of woodworking?" Some people laughed at that. Some people kind of looked at me like, You mean you don't just go get 2x4s and put them together to make a table?
We got a lumber dealer down the road. It's got an orange sign.
What is all this stuff?
What is it? Country rustic?
Country rustic.
You know what?
You're just slowly you're integrating and just getting all these people to go down this rabbit hole that you got us to go down.
So
first one's free, next one will cost you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You don't want to be around us because we're gonna make you spin.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Chris at Sustainer Store afterwards, and I said it was both exciting and terrifying the number of people that hadn't seen Grabo or hadn't seen Sustainers or hadn't seen Dashboard or hadn't seen, because the amount of people that didn't know is just, it's scary to think how many people don't know about everything that's out there.
Yeah.
But that means the addressable market is so much bigger than you even think about. Yeah. And so it kind of cuts both ways. But how do you reach that part of the market that hasn't ever heard of some of these things?
And you bring up a good point, because there's a lot of people not on social media that you don't think about. That you think obviously we think like, you haven't heard of this, but there's a lot of people that do not get on that stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of them just mainly focus on YouTube, and they don't do the TikTok, they don't do the Instagram or maybe Facebook, but I think you got to be on all those platforms to try to reach everybody possible. And you're still going to have some that don't.
Yeah, so it's a really it was really illuminating, and so the reason I was mentioning Chris at Sustainer Store or Sustainer USA, they had just been to NECA, so the National Electricians Conference, and so they had the entire bot van there and all the sustainers there, and he said the percentage of people that hadn't heard of bot or sustainers at a giant electrical conference was the same thing, and it gave him both pause. Is concerned, but also this great, hope of there's a giant market out there for, for folks that are making product that can, really hone in. And even if you're, in a more niche space, there's a giant market out there, that, you can really start, bringing into your web,
there you go,
to get them engaged. So it was really, that was, to me, to get outside the bubble. I think one of the best things about Texas Woodworking Festival is because, you did get outside the bubble. You did talk to people that you normally wouldn't talk to. You did get feedback from others that you wouldn't necessarily typically get in the circles that we can kind of weave in and out of. But at the same time, there was KJ was there, and Kamani was there, and Alm was there, and there was a bunch of cats there that were just great to catch up with and talk to, that you hadn't talked to since either Workbench Con or that you just catch up with online. Matt with MWA was there. I got to meet Winston Moy for the first time. I think he was at Workbench Con a couple of years ago, but wasn't there the last 2 years when I was there. And if anybody doesn't know Winston Moy, he does CNC related videos, and now he works for Carbide 3D because he took his journey as a maker, just doing Carbide 3D videos and rebuilding Chapocos, and took that into a career, with Carbide 3D. He doesn't post as much as he used to, but go look at his back catalog if you haven't. And he was very gracious to come by the booth and gave me a time to do my full spiel, and gave some great feedback. And I love Winston's delivery, and he's just the same. He is this same guy.
Yeah,
With
you
you-
hear him
with you.
talking. It's like when I was over at the Carbide booth and I heard him talking,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Oh, do y'all have a Winston Moy video on?"
And
And it's like, and I look over, I'm like, "Oh, he's here. He sounds the same in person." And
So-
we all know why Tyler likes him is because he takes
Organizational freak.
he takes new pristine tools and he cuts holes in them and cuts them apart. You know, because that was one of my favorite videos of his when he cut speed holes in a Shapeoko. And it's like
He said it was
Oh.
and what did he say? You ask him, why would you do that? That was you literally like, why
Yeah.
would you do that?
it makes it faster, and I'm
Makes
like,
it faster.
touche.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
yeah. But
But
you
that-
know,
that
he was
was-
probably sitting there going, if this goes wrong, there's no going back. Once I press start, there is no going back on this.
So that was the good thing about Texas Woodworking Festival is it's a real gathering of a lot of different folks. I wish I had I wish I had taken the time. I could have BJ was amazing with his time to come by and ask me if I needed help or anything. And of course, me being the control freak that I am, couldn't let go of the babies. But I wish I'd gotten a little bit more time to walk around. But that's on me more than anything else. Is to see the other folks there. We did get to see Hannah and the folks at Surf Prep. They're amazing. The Carbon Method dudes right next to us were great to talk to. Is it Hayden? What's Drew Witt's
Dan's
guy?
the owner, and
I can't remember his name. I've got their
Yeah.
cards, but they were amazing. They were introducing some new products, and man, the amount of kit they brought to give away or to hand out or to sell was stupid, and they were not real. They were a little like, I don't know why we brought all this because they had a lot to take home. We had Drew Witt, Worx right next to us, showing off their router stuff. Like I said, JCat's right across. I can't remember his name. I met him at Workbench Con. He has the table leg motor adapters. Super nice guy. Give me a second. Philip Miller was Miller Made Workshop was right across the way from us. I talked to him. I talked to him at Workbench Con this year or last year. I think it was last year. And he's doing some, really trying to, start up his thing in the business, which is always, supporting other, makers and small business owners is always amazing to try to do. Didn't get to spend very much time with the Shaper guys. I wanted to wrangle Sean and some of those guys, but they had Bench Pilot there going, and they were covered up
they
the
did
entire
a
time.
lot of live demos too.
Yeah, they did. So it was a really good show. I'm going again next year.
Was this the first
yes.
time you'd been?
It's the first time I'd been, and first time, of course, that been an exhibitor there. Jason Bent and Ronnie and Sedge were gonna go this year and have a booth, I think. But with the Con next week, it was going to be really tight turnaround.
Had a conflict.
Yeah, but it's going to be really. Did you go the weightlifting thing or the bodybuilding thing?
No, I think he had another show that he was doing.
Okay,
or something.
But it's definitely something that if you want to go to a woodworking show and see a lot of the people that you use their kit of, or you want, they had some great educational tracks as well. From what I saw, they had a content creator track that started on Friday. That was really Hibbs was there with Bourbon Moth. I didn't get to chat with him but for a second.
Saturday night we did.
Yeah, we talked to him at the
Saturday night there wasn't any business talk. It was all
just hang out,
hanging out
and chit chat.
Everybody's brain was fried Saturday night.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a good time. I'd encourage anybody that wants to make a trip around being a maker, being a woodworker. It's definitely worth to go down there. The price of admission isn't too bad to go to a show for the educational track or the GA.
What were some of the educational tracks that they had?
Oh,
They did. There was a
I'm looking.
lady there that builds chairs. She did a thing on. I want to say it was either chair building or general furniture building.
Okay, here
You
we
had
go. Steve's
creator.
gonna sign up
Yeah,
right now.
yes,
My
he is.
my top 5 hand planes. That's
Yep.
the
Yeah,
you know that there we go. So
Who
Steve's
taught
on.
that? Was Frank Straza the instructor for that?
Gary Rogowski.
I think he was with
Frank. He was with Lee Nielsen. Well, next to.
yeah.
Fundamentals of furniture design, sculptural approach to woodworking, designing and building furniture to make a living, design and weave a rush seat, limited production of handmade furniture, self promotion with integrity. So if you're a business owner, how do you promote and stay up above board with it? Andy Rawls did a joinery, how to choose track.
He's a local guy, isn't he? Isn't he down there?
yeah. He's from Bernie.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's a couple hours away.
Yeah, about an hour away. hour and a half.
Cut better dovetails, setting up a shop. Gary did that one. Utilizing shaper jigs, cooperating, coopering and geometric curves of furniture, advanced CNC techniques, half line dovetails, and then, like I said, they had a content creator. Everything I wish I knew about content creation. Is social media worth it? Question mark. Energy in versus income out. Building a loyal following. Hibbs did that one. From workshop to world stage, and then an Ask Me Anything session for YouTube guys.
It was, if I could add, it was a good. I felt it was a lot. It was ran better than the year before. The year before when we went,
Oh yeah,
it was absolute chaos, and it was just like a mob, which is good for them. I mean, right? But it was absolutely hard to get into a booth. This year it was spread out. It seemed like the classes were going on at the right time to kind of alleviate the foot traffic in there, and you were able to talk to a lot of the vendors. Great meeting a lot of people that I've never, I've talked to online here, but never in person. And there's a lot of products. I wish they would bring some of the bigger companies in, or bigger, that we use a lot in the shop. And then it seems like they're trying to turn that into the next Workbench conference, big woodworking show, where it's going to turn into that. And I think it's going to be great. There's I think I can see a lot of great things coming in the future with that show.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Felder there, and wasn't SMC
Felder was there?
Yes, Felder was there.
SCM was there. I tried to have Felder just direct their big slider right into the truck, but
I got
it
room.
wouldn't have fit. But they said they would figure it out. So I mean, really, I think, I won't say who, one of the other power tool companies, not Festool, was going to be there, but because of tariff situations, they backed out. Festool doesn't do shows anymore, so I wouldn't have expected them to be there. Anyway,
but it's usually that company there out of Austin, the actual dealer for them out of Austin.
Yeah, but he's taken a job with somebody else now, so I don't know that he's still doing as the Festool dealer there, because he was right there out of the furniture, out of the
Austin School
of
Woodworking. Yeah, he had a shop there, but I don't know if he's doing that anymore. I haven't talked to him in a minute.
Yeah, the only festival stuff I saw was at the Woodcraft booth.
Yeah. And I don't know how much they had. I didn't make it over there. There was a track saw in our booth, and an extractor, and there's an extractor right next door at Woodworks. Try to keep it from being messy, but aside from that, no, it was great. Shaper was there, SCM was there, Felder was there, Surf Prep was there, of course. Onefinity was there, and Carbide 3D was, Carbide was there, and
Lee Nielsen, Frank
Yeah, I
Sauger.
mean, it was. I like the way that they had it set up with a content creation track on Friday, because then you could get some of the Workbench folks there. But from a vendor perspective, going to Workbench Con just to be asked for free stuff is not as attractive as having the general public there, or real
Right.
woodworkers to try to show your wares in a localized setting. Having content creators there, of course, is important, because then you can have relationships with them too, that you can show it to the wider world and they can see it and put their hands on it. So I think it strikes a good balance for vendors and for folks that want to try to meet and interact with the wider community. And I think I think we probably broke even as far as sales go directly from the show, but of course it's always just a long game of what you can do. But the value of seeing people, continuing to network, to get feedback from the public, to get feedback from other vendors that you've seen at other things, or made a relationship at Workbench Con or whatever else. I think those things are all of value to us. And again, it was a hard road to get there, both from the travel to get there and the lead up to it. Learned a lot of things not to do, learned a lot of things to do, and the way it came together made me feel good about doing it. And then again, selfishly, it's always good to get feedback when somebody puts your hands on your kit right there, as opposed to just shipping it off into the ether. And you might get a review, but you don't know how they really feel about it. And Trenton, a customer that's bought quite a few things over the past few months, was there. I actually brought his box with me and gave it to him there at the show, and to get feedback and to be able to meet customers that are happy with the product is always, it makes the work at least feel worth it, because you get that feedback from the customers that are paying you money, their hard-earned money to get your product. And that's always nice to have. Just as a baker, as a business owner, it's good to get that feedback.
Yeah, it's good. It was a great time. But anyhow,
and it was, well, and I was going to say, on that, it was nice that Austin, the people running the event, Saturday afternoon when we shut down, they were going booth to booth and asking, okay, what do you like? What can we do better? How do you feel it went? And, and Austin was talking to me because he's like, hey, you were walking around all day. What did you see different this year versus last year? And they're nice. It's awesome because they're taking that stuff into consideration. They're not just going, we want to do it this way. Who cares? We think it works. They're looking at it going, we know it's not perfect. We know it can be better.
They were
absolutely awesome.
They were
Mm.
from an organization perspective, from an interaction perspective, from just giving you, I mean, being able to cut up and when I'm trying to bribe you to let it stay a little bit later, right?
Going to get our badges because somebody forgot to register us,
probably yes. No names, me. But it was really great. I mean, they had a great staff. I don't know if they were volunteers. I don't know if they were paid. Whatever they were amazing. Austin was, I mean, just absolutely from the top level organizer all the way down to all his folks that were there helping were just stupendous. I can't speak highly enough about them. They put on a great show, and they wanted feedback. They wanted to make sure their vendors and their attendees were enjoying themselves. And the only really serious stern look I got when I made a joke with one of them about tearing down on Sunday at noon to get out of there, and I got not before, they were very serious about not starting to break down before 3 o'clock.
I was talking to someone else this week, because there were several booths on the far side that about 1:30, they're starting to sneak stuff out the door. And from what I've heard, there's discussion about if you were doing that, you don't get to come back.
Okay.
You know, because
And
it's disrespectful for those that are coming in. You
Yeah.
know,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand. I mean, you know, I understand wanting to get out of there. I mean, you know, I would say I had one of the longer drives of any vendor that was there. Yeah, most everybody would have had it shipped in and probably flown in besides, me. I can understand wanting to get out of there. I really can.
Always next year.
No, I mean it's just too much to ship. I mean, the numbers that Carbon Method were throwing out as far as what they sit in to put into storage. I mean, it was a big number.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just not. You know, it would be hard to make it pencil.
Well, and I know last year, 2 vendors, half of their stuff never showed up. And it's like, you know, and one of them, like their backdrop, their display stuff, it was missing. And it was fun because I walked past their booth 3 times and they actually sent me a message. They're like, "Hey, are you here? You know, we wanted you to come by and see us." And I'm like, "I can't find your booth." And they're like, and they wrote back, "Oh yeah, we don't have a sign. It's on this aisle." I'm like, "Okay." And they're like, "Yeah, the shipping company or the storage company lost half of our stuff."
Yeah.
I'm like,
So
"Oh, that's gotta suck."
I can understand wanting to get out of there because by day 2, but I was torn. I mean, I made this joke with people. I'm like, I want it to be over, but I don't want it to end because you really are tired. I mean, even though it's only a 2-day show, you know, it's everything leading up to it is a lot of work, and so you really are exhausted. And but you don't want it to be over because you've done all this work leading up to it, so you kind of want it to string out as well, and also to have interaction with folks. You know, it's a good length of time for a show. As far as, you know, it's not really ridiculously long days. I've worked shows where it's, you know, they open at 7 and they close at 7, and it's a 3-day show, and by day 3 by noon you're A, rocked, B, everybody's done. Nobody wants to be there. And and it's not, you know, I mean, because it was 9 to 6,
9 to 5,
9 to 5 Saturday. On Saturday, and 9 to 3 on Sunday. So
Saturday we were 7 to 6:30.
Yeah.
I added it up, and I want to say we were probably on our feet over those 3 days for almost 30 hours.
Oh yeah, and leading into it, I was, you know, the most time I spent off my feet was the 14 hours of driving going there. Other than that, I had been on my feet for 3 weeks standing.
Because Saturday, you know, we got there at 7, didn't leave till 6-ish when they finally kicked us out. Because Saturday we were just sitting there chatting with people, you know, and getting ready to go to that after show or after party. I looked at my watch to see my step count for the day. Between 7 and 6 o'clock, I did not leave that event hall. I walked over 3 miles.
I didn't never look at mine. I didn't ever leave the 10 by 10 area.
Oh God! Now, and that's one thing I will say: do what JCats did and get you some of that matting down. Yeah. There's a reason his booth always had people in it, because that floor was comfortable.
So, but no, it was great. It was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I've enjoyed, you know, a lot of things, but this was nice. It was a lot of work, but it was very nice. Next weekend at ConCon will be a completely different feel. I'm bringing all the same kit. I'll have to initiate somebody else and to help me set up. BJ's a pro now, but we'll have to rope somebody else in.
Hey,
to tell you how crazy, you know, how insane it is. If you didn't see BJ's story of me riding a freaking, you know, cargo cart in the freaking parking lot like a skateboard, like a scooter, that's what it does to people when you've been doing it for that long.
Just make sure you put your business cards somewhere you can find them.
Instead of buried 16 sustainers deep.
Yep.
No, it was in the top sustainer.
It was in a top sustainer. It was just underneath.
Sustainer.
It was not in what he said it was in, and we looked through everything a dozen times. And then Sunday evening, as we're packing up, he's just like, "Are you kidding me?"
He was
Look what I
BJ.
found.
BJ had walked off for something, and he was putting something away, doing something, and I was stuffing things, and I took something apart, and I found an S76, funnily enough, that had all of my Sustainer drop-in cards that I use as business cards, and I opened it up and I put it on the table across the way, and he came walking back. He came walking back into the booth.
Jimmy's
and
right.
I just pointed over to the table. You know,
The defeat in this man's face
You know,
was palatable.
as technical Tyler is, I agree with Jimmy. Who uses business cards? I mean, you should
I
have
don't
like
use
a two-
see, this is a drop in for my Sustainer. So everybody that places an order, they get a Sustainer card from me. And so that's what I hand out at shows as well. And I tell you, if you have a Sustainer, drop this in so you'll remember us. So
By the way, I need more. I need more of them, please. So I can.
I should have grabbed some while I was there.
After we found them, yes, you should have.
Yeah.
Yes, you should have. So yeah, that was oh, man, the damn cards.
But honestly,
So I am
if you
definitely looking
have-
forward to it next year. I am
So
planning on
what?
that
being
was
on
the
the
worst
calendar.
part of the show.
What are you thinking next year? A little bit bigger booth or the same
No,
size?
but
Yeah.
so
Same
I
spot.
actually consulted with BJ on this because when they came by and said, "Hey, do you want to come next year?" I'm like, "Yes, sign me up." They said, "Do you want one booth or two?" And I thought about doing two, but none of my stuff's big, and to have 10 by 20 booth, it's about double the price, of course, and then you've got to fill it out both with stuff but also people, right? To be able to answer questions or have feedback. And while BJ was an absolute saint with his time, then I'd have to rope in Joey and rope in Steve to come help work the booth some too as well. And I did like being able to get people in and talk to them more one-on-one or one-on-two arrangements. Having a bigger booth might be okay too, but next year I'll do one, and then for 2027, we'll see if going to two booths makes more sense. But it was a little tight at times because we had a pop-up sign, the backdrop, and a Sustainer stack with tracks on top of it on one side. If you didn't see the pictures on Instagram, I think they're probably still up there. And then two Sustainer stacks with tops at the front corners. And it felt good. You could still work with people. You could still talk to people. People could come in and couldn't really mill around in the booth, but could see working with the bench grip, with the vacuum pods on there. I think 2027 may make sense to do too. Our product lineup may be a little bit bigger, more I don't know, saying more diverse. We're pretty, we got 600 SKUs right now, so I'm saying we're pretty diverse right now with product. But definitely doing one next year. Did get asked to move down a space, and I said no. So we're in booth 66.
I'm glad you did. I was going to be disappointed if you said yes.
Yeah.
So just out of curiosity, I'm assuming you had everything on display, but were you doing any demos or anything, or was it just display?
No, we did demos on vacuum pods, did demos on the anchor pod. Talked about every single one of them, pulled out bins to talk about bins with people. That would probably be the only reason really to have two booths, is to be able to have, a little bit more spread out so you can get bins out. That was kind of the only thing that felt a little cramped. But bins aren't that exciting anyway. So if you're going to do a demo, most people are going to want to see, the vacuum pods and work. You do quickly find out the failings of an oiled vacuum pump.
God,
You do. Yeah, you do figure out that's probably not the thing to take to a show, because it does make a lot bit of a
your
mess.
mark on the event center. I'll say that much.
Yes. Yeah. So took the little one too. Joey took the little 50 liter per minute one that we got, the lab version, the oilless one. That one worked well, but I had the larger. It's probably 5 CFM, I guess, the oiled one hooked up. It's just to make sure that you had the best demo. Next year, I mean, I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, but hopefully we will have a vacuum pump.
Did it get
available
too
to us.
hot and kind of spew a little oil in the?
I spewed oil all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
all
came
over the
back
place.
about halfway through and I saw it and I'm like, oh crap, like are we down a pump? Like what's going on? And it's like, no, just every time it turned on, it would
Just,
Yeah, well, it
just
gets hot. It gets
It just
hot.
it just aerosolizes that oil. So
Ooh.
it still
Yeah,
worked fine. I mean,
it worked
ran.
great. It ran. It never failed. It did what it was supposed to do. Just it's a little messy, and one of the reasons not to go completely budget pump. But if you have to, you have to. It still works great. That 50-liter one's really nice. Just doesn't it's 2 CFM, I guess. So it'll still pull, still hold down, but definitely wanted to have something just a little bit bigger because people are going to try to break things. People are going to try to make something move off a vacuum table.
And
we had a few people
when you have
lift the workbench off the ground.
When you have the leverage, of course, you're going to be able to break it off. I don't care what it is, right?
Oh yeah.
I've grabbed those. I have it. I just didn't put it out because it's not something I want somebody to try and then say, hey, that thing didn't do what you did. But I have stacked 3 sustainers with tools in it and put your vacuum pod with the Grabo, and I can sit there and lift them all off the minimum.
Well, I was curling the dashboard. So I had 2 Harpies on the side of the dashboard and turned it on, and I put a narrow face, just a piece of poplar to demonstrate like a narrow face application and a narrow stock application. And I put it on, and I would curl the edge of the dashboard up and down to show them that it would hold. But then you put one on the front across 2 minimus pods, for example, and somebody would try to push on one end and it would slip a little bit. And I said, how often are you going to put your full body weight on something like that? Even if you're planing, you're not going to sharpen your plane. Steve would say you don't need to put that much pressure on the top of the workpiece. I said, at heck, I've had 4 minimus pods, a 4x6 sheet of plywood, with another jig on front with an OF 1010 cutting down edge banding off the top of it. So it'll hold plenty if you want it to, without trying to make it slip. But so that's the only thing that I think would change, is having a little cleaner pump, just for the show. It also meant that we threw away some hose. Not that that's a big deal, because I just didn't want to carry oily hose, back.
We tried to clean it off, but it just that stuff gets onto everything.
Yeah, that's oil.
Yeah.
Oil. It's gonna leave a sheen. Anyhow, well, that's let's put a bow on this. Mustache, you want to thank our Patreons?
Yeah, we got some awesome people out there that are helping us support our podcast. And I would like to mention our top tier, starting with Scott from Willow Creek Lumber, Don from What's Next Woodworking, Victor from Whim Designs, Tyler on the podcast from Forge 3D, Steve also on the podcast from Steve I Design, and we got a brand new patron that I forgot to mention last week, and
How
he
dare
is
you.
not in the United States, guys. He is in Australia, and his name is Stephen Hawker from
Got a buddy
Recycled
from down
Wooden
under. Heck
Tools.
yeah.
Well,
So we thank all of you for your support, in addition to everyone that's not top tier. And if you would like to help support our cause, you can go over to patreon.com/Creative Makers Podcast, pick your tier. And if you can't support our podcast, we would greatly appreciate it if you would share. Friends, family, your dog, whoever. Just
My dog likes the podcast. She
Can I pet
gives
that
it 2
dog?
paws up.
Come pet that dog.
Oh, get a pet that dog. Tyler, thank you.
Thank you guys for having us. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me. And BJ again, I gave him some grief last weekend. Having to go shop for a hair dryer for his beard.
Hey! It started because somebody needed their cold brew coffee.
I did need some coffee. I did need caffeine.
Wait, you drink cold brew? This explains so much, Tyler.
yes, it does.
And I'm not gonna lie, I think he might have converted me because I've been drinking my regular K-cup coffee this week, and I'm like, oh, that coffee we had last weekend was so much better.
So good. I don't have time. I don't have time to wait for things to brew. Man, I pour it. I'm gone. I'm out of there. I'm good to go.
Yeah.
But BJ, thank you. I want to say publicly to everybody, thank you so much for coming down and spending time.
Brother.
And it was a great show to have a helper there. He had a nice rainbow in his room.
I did. That was the only nice thing about the room.
But no, it was great having BJ down and enjoyed.
It was fun. It was a great weekend.
Get to hang out and spend time with him. And didn't get to see. I saw Joey, but didn't get to see Joey. But next week he gets a big Joey. Gets a big Joey bear hug and can't wait to get to the con with you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And thank you for your continued innovation and bringing these fine products and helping us spend our money. I love them. Continue doing that, please.
Bravo.
And again, thank you for coming on and hanging out for a little while with us. I know you probably need to go eat some food, maybe finally. Wackerle
joins the chat.
There you go. Right at the
You're late.
Yeah. But thanks. What's that?
I was gonna say to throw it out there. We will not be doing a live next weekend, correct?
No, but we will have a show.
We will have a show
going out that y'all can listen into that we pre-recorded. It'll still be going out, and that'll be on Sunday, same time, and it just will not be live. And it was a great conversation. I highly suggest y'all listen to it, or if not, just go download it. Go download. Make those download numbers go up. But we'd like to thank everybody that hung out with us tonight in the chat. Great questions. We'll see y'all week after next. We're going to be doing having a little fun and get to meet all these great folks up there. Some that I haven't met. It's going to be fun. Good time. Yeah. But please remember to head on over to iTunes and to Spotify. Leave us a review. Download. And if you would please leave us a comment, hit the like button. And remember, we have that great challenge going on with Boss Dog Wood Glue. And we hope to see all of y'all get involved with it. It'd be great. And any other parting comments that we need to go over, guys?
All questions, direct them to Joey.
No. Just use them to hold your door open. That's all they're good
Mustachio. All the complaints got to come Mustachio, right?
Yeah.
All IT questions go to Steve.
Yeah. And I know he's got his finger on that mute button, so I'm just going to give him a little break. But as I would say, BJ's a great guy to answer a lot of questions. So
it's getting thick in here.
We do it.
I have to break out the waiters.
He keeps threatening me that he's going to bring a scroll saw person on here, and I said, man, that might be a good idea, but no, it would be a great time. Be a great time. I would be a absolute great host. Hey, y'all remember paybacks are beep 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 beep. Bye bye.